Place it in the incense holder, please. Sangema. All my past and harmful karma, born from beginning of greed, hate, and delusion, through body, speech, and mind, are now fully avowed. Please repeat. All my past and harmful karma, born from beginningless greed, hate, and delusion, through body, speech, and mind, are now fully avowed. All my past and harmful karma, born from beginningless greed, hate, and delusion, through my body, speech, and mind, I now fully avow. Repeat after me. Namu Kai Butsu.
Namu Kai Butsu.
Namu Kai Ho.
Namu Kai Ho.
Namu Kai So.
Namu Kai So.
Namu Kai Butsu.
Namu Kai Butsu.
Namu Kai Ho.
Namu Kai Ho.
Namu Kai So.
Namu Kai So.
Namu Kai Butsu.
Namu Kai Butsu.
Namu Kai Ho.
Namu Kai Ho.
Namu Kai So.
Namu Kai So.
I take refuge in the Buddha.
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 I take refuge in the Dharma.
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 I take refuge in the Sangha.
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 Kai Bukyo.
Kai Bukyo.
Kai Bukyo.
Kai Bukyo.
Kai Bukyo.
Kai Bukyo.
Kai Hokyo.
Kai Hokyo.
Kai Hokyo.
Kai Hokyo.
Kai Hokyo.
Kai Hokyo.
Kai Sokyo.
Kai Sokyo.
Kai Sokyo.
Kai Sokyo.
Kai Sokyo.
Kai Sokyo.
Tehatsu de Ge. We shave the head that we may see how by freeing ourselves from attachments we are released from suffering. Please, each of you lean forward. Now, water purification. You just recited the verse of atonement. Now I wash you. May you each be a blessing in the universe, as you have been, as you are, and hopefully as you will be. You are entering into a new phase of your life as Buddhist priests. Please take the words that I said earlier to heart. This is a auspicious occasion on the one hand, and a very difficult and challenging step on the other. Believe me, it is no easy task to live your life in service to others. People will call you, people will nag you, people will love you, people will hate you, people will do all sorts of things. Let each of them be an opportunity to learn about your own response to things and how you are responding to them. I've often said, as you know, I learned more about Zen from my response to my teacher than anything he ever said. And that points to something very important, that we pay attention to our internal self, our internal mind, and how it's working. How we're receiving messages, how we're interpreting them, and how we're responding to them. As you practice Zazen, practice to open the space between perception, thought, and feeling, and certain behavior. The more you can open that space, the more opportunity you have to respond appropriately and in a way that's in service to others as opposed to yourself. Each of you have had sitting groups in your home states. Continue with those, please. As I said earlier to you, this ceremony will conclude my relationship as teacher to you. and you will begin a new relationship with the abbot of the temple, of the order. She's a hard taskmaster. Pay attention to how you're feeling about her and her words to you and what she's asking you to do. Because it's in that response that the teaching is. Not in the things she's asking you to do. That's not. But how you're responding to it, how you're hearing it, how you're perceiving it, very important. Pay attention. Are you each ready for this? Yes. We'll see. Thank you very much for your support with me, for your dedication, for your commitment, for your willingness to learn. It's been a marvelous experience being your teacher. And thank you for that. Because without you, I'm not a teacher. Good for me. Okay. Now, precepts. I have 3 pure precepts. Well, please repeat them 3 times. I vow not to commit evil.
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 I vow to do good.
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 I vow to bring about abundant good for all beings.
I vow to bring about abundant good for all beings.
I vow to bring about abundant good for all beings.
I vow to bring about abundant good for all beings.
I vow to bring about abundant good for all beings.
I vow to bring about abundant good for all beings.
Please keep these in mind. Next, 10 great precepts. I vow to respect and be kind to all forms of life.
I vow to respect and be kind to all forms of life.
I vow to respect and be kind to all forms of life.
I vow to respect and be kind to all forms of life.
I vow to respect and be kind to all forms of life.
I vow to respect and be kind to all forms of life.
I vow to respect the possessions of others.
I vow to respect the possessions of others.
I vow to respect the perfection, the things of others.
I vow to respect the possessions of others.
I vow to respect the possessions of others.
I vow to respect the possessions of others.
I vow to use my sexuality to nurture and enhance my life and the lives of others.
I vow to use my sexuality to nurture and enhance my life and the lives of others.
I vow to use my sexuality to enhance and nurture my life and the life of others.
I vow to use my sexuality to enhance and nurture my life and the lives of others.
I vow to use my sexuality to nurture and enhance my life and the life of others.
I vow to use my sexuality to nurture and enhance my life and the lives of others.
I vow to speak the truth.
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 I vow to feed my body and mind and those of others helpful and wholesome substances and materials.
I vow to feed my body and mind helpful
and healthy materials. It's a long one, isn't it? I vow to feed my body and mind.
I vow to feed my body and mind
and those of others.
And those of others.
Helpful and wholesome substances and materials.
Helpful and wholesome substances and materials.
I vow to be kind when I speak of others.
I vow to be kind when I speak of others.
I vow to be kind when I speak of others.
I vow to be kind when I speak of others.
I vow to be kind when I speak of others.
I vow to be kind when I speak of others.
I vow to treat others and myself as equals.
I vow to treat others and myself as equals.
I vow to treat myself and others as equals.
I vow to treat myself and others as equals.
I vow to treat myself and others as equals.
I vow to treat myself and others as equals.
I vow to be generous. I vow to be generous with my possessions.
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 I vow to sow and water seeds of love in my life.
I vow to sow and water seeds of love in my life.
I vow to sow and water seeds of love in my life.
I vow to sow and water seeds of love in my life.
I vow to sow and water seeds of love in my life.
I vow to sow and water seeds of love in my life.
I vow to value and honor
I vow to value and honor
the triple treasure, the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha.
the triple treasure, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha.
I vow to value and honor the triple treasure,
I vow to value and honor the triple treasure,
Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha.
Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha.
I vow to value and honor the triple treasure,
I vow to value and honor the triple treasure,
Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha.
the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha.
Thank you. Please keep these vows. Now we come to a part in the ceremony that's challenging for people. There's something in the practice of Zen called koan. Koan is sometimes people call it a riddle or a puzzle or something. It really isn't. It's in some ways nonsense that demands that we step out of our rational intellectual mind and respond in a way that shows something about our true nature. I've given each of these students a koan to practice with for some time now. And it's time for them to answer that koan. Let's see. Who shall we do first? Yeah, let's do Mitsugo. This is from case 29, not the wind, not the flag. I'll read a little bit of it to you. Two monks were arguing about a flag. One said, the flag is moving. The other said, the wind is moving. The sixth patriarch comes along and says, no, not the wind, not the flag. Your mind is moving. What say you? Good answer. Why did he answer in silence? You suppose? Anybody? Anything he would say would be incorrect. Because when he says something, he's creating a duality. He's creating something to move. There's nothing moving. Not the mind even. Muman, in his commentary on this koan, says, not even the mind is moving, so the sixth patriarch was wrong. How can it be that nothing is moving? Let's consider that. What is movement? Moving from this place to this place, perhaps? Moving this time to that time? But that requires duality. It requires us to think of this as separate from this. But in the Buddha way, everything is one. If everything is one, nothing's moving. There's no movement possible. There's no point of reference from A to B, time one to time two. There's just oneness. Thank you. You, on the other hand, have a different koan. Maybe it requires a different answer. I don't know. But here's the deal. There was this student sitting in his endo, and it was hotter than hell. And he was sweating to death. He didn't like it very much. So he gets up off his cushion and walks his butt up to his teacher and says, where is a place where there's no hot or cold? I'm hot. I'm sweating to death. The teacher says, well, go find that place where there's no hot or cold. Where is that place?
The monk's question is like this head in need of a comb. When it's hot, heat awakens. When it's cold, coolness awakens. What is there that goes beyond?
Very good, thank you. That's a good answer. Yeah, one of the things about this koan is it teaches us something about concepts. Things not as they are, but as we think they are. What's hot? What's cold? Hot is just an idea. Not the reality of it, is it? Just when we say hot, we're just saying hot. We may be reflecting something of our experience, but that's not our experience. That's a finger pointing to the moon. What's the moon itself? Neither hot nor cold. Just this. As the dude says, I think, abide in that. Some of you get that reference. The great Lebowski. Yeah. Anyway, neither here nor there. Good answer. Okay, now it's my pleasant task to whack you. I love this part of the sermon. My teacher, Ken Roshi, was a big guy, and he carried a big stick. And boy, when he whacked you, when I became a priest, man, he whacked you. He was standing, he went up on his toes and came down. I don't think I want to do that to these poor young men. I want to tap you. It's Kisaku. It's called the Stick of Awakening, or teaching stick. It's made to help us practice, actually. We're sitting on long sits in the Zazakai or Sesshin. Muscles get all tense and everything. It starts to hurt like the dickens. So what do? We put our palms together and turn our head, and the priest or the Ino or somebody comes by and taps twice. And you lay your head over. Pop! And the other side taps twice. You head over. Pop! What that does is it releases the muscle tension in your back, and it allows you to sit unimpeded. Imagine that. So, I guess I should stand up. And which is an active something for me. Believe me, I'm an old guy. You'll pardon my creaks and croaks. Okay, we're up. That's enough. Kisaku is done in a certain way. We walk with our right foot first, and come around like over, without falling down and embarrassing myself. Always the battle. Okay. I ask you now to surrender your Raksu. Raksu is a miniaturized version of the Buddhist robe. These Raksus were sewn by these young men, and they were sewn when they became novitiates with little white squares in each corner to signify that they were my disciples. And now we're surrendering them because they're replacing them with something else. Okay, would you each hand me your kesa? Whoever comes first goes first. All right. Please put it here. Okay. This is a full version of the Buddhist robe. I think in this case it's 7 panels, is it? 7 panels sewn together in the same way that the Buddha sewed them 2,600 years ago. The very long tradition of putting on the Buddha's robe. The Buddha says it's like putting on the Dharma. It's putting on your morality. It's telling you something about who you are. They are a pain in the tuchus, I've been saying. Those of you who speak a little Yiddish. Tuchus. Okay. We have 2 versions here I would like to point out. One is the Chinese version, which is the clasp, and that's becoming more and more popular in the Soto Zen world. And then the more traditional ties become a little cumbersome, but very nice. You did a great job. Thank you. Now, what I'm going to do now is thank you for becoming priests because you are. And I'm going to present you each with your certificate as evidence of your priesthood. And your Kichimyaku, which is a bloodline certificate that dates all the way back to the Buddha, and I will show you that. But first, Reverend KoKyo Brown, disciple of Sodaiho Hilbert Roshi in the order of Kurman Zen Las Cruces, I now bestow upon you the degree of Zen priest. This is your certificate. You may do with what you will. And here's that. This is a kuchinaku, traditionally folded in white paper, sometimes with a ribbon tied to it. I know you're waiting with bated breath to see this. It's quite something, actually. The top is the Buddha. And each of those calligraphies that go all the way down to the bottom are priests in the tradition and the lineage of Masaoka Roshi, or myself. The bottom one on the right-hand side is Tucker. And then me, and then my teacher, and then his teacher, and his teacher, and his teacher, all the way back to the Buddha. It's called Kichimyaku. It's signed and sealed with my signature and the temple signature and the order of Kurman Zen signature stamp. Like. And now, Mitsugo, KoKyo, I should say something about your names. KoKyo, it's two glyphs. The first is Ko, and it means old, old. And Kyo means mirror, an old mirror. Consider what that might mean, to be an old mirror. What do you see in that old mirror? What's possible? I take my Dharma names that I offer my students from the Shobogenzo, which is Reverend Master Dogen's magical, wonderful compendium of essays about how to live your life as a Zen person. Mitsugo is an interesting name. Mitsugo means secret talk or silent whispers or something like that. You know, every one of these kanji have about 1 billion different understandings. They're pictures, really. And so you kind of pick one that fits. And I think, for me, secret talk is a good one for you. This is the certified degree of Zen priest was bestowed upon Reverend Ron Mitsugo Zacharski, disciple of Sodaiho Hilbert Roshi in the order of Kurman Zen, Las Cruces, New Mexico, August 8, 2015. 2015, awarded by myself. And there is his certificate. And we'll show you another one. This is the fun part. Don't worry, young man. We only have a little bit to go. This is Reverend Mitsugo's bloodline certificate. Sealed, signed, and delivered. Or signed, sealed, delivered. Can you see? It's cool. Even your son thinks so. There's one other thing I have to give you. So, there am I. There's that. And your certificate. Each of you get these. This is your ceremony. Okay, this is yours. This one is yours. Now, as a priest in this tradition, you know what? I didn't show your rock suit. Each of these guys had to do a rock suit, one way or another. This is a rock suit. This is that thing that was black. This is now in brown, and I believe this is KoKyo's. And I think you said this or something. Here we go. This is his rock suit, brown rock suit, and the calligraphy and everything like that. Now, this is the same pattern as what they're wearing in the large version. The Chinese and Japanese decided to miniaturize it, I guess. I'm not sure why they did that, but they did it. And so it's a wonderful little thing. So we don't have to put on these great big road things. This is yours, right? And yours? Huh? Mitsugo did an interesting job too. This is an interesting choice of fabric. We're not going to say anything about that for whatever reason. I guess the reason will be secret wanted. Okay, so this is his, and the back, there's the calligraphy on it, and so forth. And of course, on each strap is the Clear Mind Zen seal, and the seal for Zen energy. I think there's a Shokuji on the other. Okay, so let me hold this up for you and give it back. Along with this beautiful case. It's a beautiful case he did. Let's see. Fold this up here like this, and give it back to you like that. So I don't have to do it. You can see why these Kuromas are a pain. Hey, look at this. Look at the length of the sleeves. It's brief. Okay. I think, oh yeah, lastly. I'll give you this stick. This is Kisaka for your son, for your use. As our gift. Your teacher, your new teacher will tell you about that. I'm going to leave that to her, since I'm now retired, out of the pocket. Okay, that concludes our ceremony. Thank you very much. Welcome to the priesthood.